Park as we bring you all yet another Terps Esports broadcast. My name is Quentin, and tonight I'm joined by
Alex, and I am super excited to be here tonight for week 4 of Terps Premier Overwatch action.
We've got a lot to cover in our pre-show, including an exclusive interview with our team's co-captain and support player, C3.
But before we get into the action, let's go over the details of tonight's Overwatch 2 match.
The Terps are competing in a best-of-5 against Rowan University. This is UMD's 4th regular season match in the Play vs. College League, and after last week's close loss against Warner, the Terps are looking for a win to extend their 2-1 record.
That's right, tonight's guaranteed to be an action-packed match. But now that you know who we're facing, it's time for us to introduce you to the players of the Terps Overwatch team.
First up, we have PJ, who's playing in remote today. He's one of our DPS players. PJ likes to play close quarters, high damage characters like Reaper or Genji.
Next up is Tango, our team's main support, playing mainly Lucio, but sometimes flexing to Brig or Wuyang.
Then we have Tony, our tank player. He's the linchpin of the team, playing characters like Ramatra, Zarya, or Diva.
Then we have Funny, our second DPS player. He likes to play fast-paced dive characters like Genji or Tracer.
And then rounding out our starting roster is C3, the team's flex support, playing an array of characters like Kiriko, Bap, or Anna. And now that you know each member of our team, get ready for an exclusive interview with our co-captain, C3. All right, welcome back. Here we have C3, our co-captain, support player of the team. Now, C3, how do you feel after last week's close loss against Warner? What do you feel like the team needs to improve on? And how hard is it to keep a team as rambunctious as the Terps alive as a support player?
In terms of how I feel, I still feel kind of sad about it, but honestly, it's just kind of a game where we can take our mistakes that we made, learn from them, improve, and just get better as a team overall. It's just kind of showcasing us that there's competition out there that's going to be a lot harder to go against, so we got to focus up. And in terms of how hard was it to keep the team alive as our support, it's, I mean, I try my best. I just try as hard as I can. I know that they're going to do as much as they can if I keep them up, and that's just what motivates me to keep helping them out.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel going against Rowan this match coming up? Do you feel like you can implement some new strategies, maybe improve on some of your mistakes from last match?
Oh, for sure. We can definitely improve our mistakes. I think the loss last week was kind of hard on us, and we kind of took it to heart, and we kind of focused up and got better and improved the team. And in terms of how I feel great. I feel it's going to be a good match to watch and stuff like that.
Ready to come back strong, huh?
Yep.
All right, now one more, a little more fun of a question. Let's say you were put in charge of balancing Overwatch today. What are your day one changes?
Oh, God. I would make Zarya way, way, way weaker. That character is so annoying to deal with. And honestly, get rid of Venture. I hate that character. That character blows.
Just completely gone?
Yeah, that character sucks.
All right, wiping out Venture entirely. All right. Well, thank you so much, C3. And that concludes our pre-show for tonight's match. But stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
And welcome back to match 4, or game 4 of this Overwatch season. We're very excited to get started here. Game 4 of this Overwatch season.
Yeah, we're back. It's week 4. We had a bit of a tough loss last week. It was close. It was a 3-2 finish. You know, it went the full distance there. And yeah, it was a tough match. It was a close match. The Terps, you know, it was good, I think, because we hadn't really had a match go that long yet. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, the Terps really got tested there. It didn't work out in our favor, but I think it really, you know, showed us where to go and what we're doing wrong, what we're doing right. So hopefully we see some of that coming out here in week 4, game 4. Now, I do want to reference a little back. Let's wind back our memories just a little bit. A few minutes ago, we had our interview with C3. Lovely C3 support player, co-captain.
And new Overwatch developer.
Yeah. According to one of my questions, new Overwatch balance change leader. You know, he said day one changes, nerf Zarya into the ground, and remove Venture from the game entirely.
Done.
That's
And you know what? I think there's a lot of people that would not be upset about those changes. I think there's a lot of people that would be upset about those changes. But
I mean, you know, it's an interesting strategy just getting rid of a hero entirely.
I feel like we've added too much to the game. There's too much in Overwatch 2. We could just be removing it entirely.
You know, I feel like there is an argument there with some of it. But like, is that allowed? Are we just allowed to add somebody in and take them out?
Okay, so Overwatch has been like they go one hero at a time. We get like a little video introducing the hero. Now what they start doing is they start giving cinematics on each character's canon death, and they start removing heroes, one hero from the game at a time, until we're back down to the original roster.
Okay, I see that. We got some good ideas there. Maybe, hopefully, you know, some of the characters canonically dying off could breathe some new life into the.
I'm kind of loving this. I think put us in C3 triple heads of Overwatch development.
C3
Blizzard needs new management.
C3 at the top, and then us two. You
like
know, right and left hand.
Exactly.
You know, that might be a good strategy.
I think this is kind of perfect. But from the sounds I'm hearing, I think we are starting our first match very soon.
We are moving into the Antarctic Peninsula. This is our first match, so we are, you know, point, king of the hill, capture, whatever you want to call it. That's our game mode. We're going to be moving into that match soon. We can probably expect pretty typical team lineups to normal. You know, the map has a good amount of viability for a lot of different kinds of characters. It's a little close range though, so we're probably going to be seeing a little more close range stuff. Right now we got C3 on Wu Yang, Funny on Genji, PJ moving in Reaper, Tony on Zarya, and then Tango seems to be switching between Lucio and Kiriko, but we're looking at Kiriko. Very typical lineup for the Terps here. But then here we have Rowan. Rowan's looks a little interesting. We have Junker Queen at the tank.
Interesting. Oh,
Junker Queen outside of Flashpoint is a very interesting choice there. We don't see it a lot. Could be interesting. Could be cool.
Combined with the Lucio, this could be a team that's really prioritizing speed in their tactics here. So it'll be very interesting to see how they're going to start off this match.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Getting to that point faster than anyone else could be a big advantage. But we'll see how this first interaction goes. Already Funny taking care of that Sojourn. Seconds into the match, just getting that first pick.
Very nice. Just removing whatever they can.
Funny again, getting rid of their Reaper too.
And I think that Junker Queen is gone as well. Wow, just a very nice clear. And another.
There's Kiriko down 2. Tony, nice little double there.
There's a lot of close quarters and like you were saying, but also short ceilings on this map. Yeah. And so Zarya is just picking everyone off. This is bread and butter.
Zarya is a great choice for this map. Very easy to build charge. Right. You know, it's hard for them to really get away at some points on this map. And you know, the Terps killing almost all of them so
Reaper
far.
On Reaper.
Just keeping them back.
And they're retreating
on the zone.
Now they're very, very bunched up right now. They're all coming in from the same area, which is making it very easy for the Terps to kind of pick them off all from different sides.
Funny getting that Sojourn again. Ooh. Tony also cleaning up that Junker Queen again. We're seeing very similar things play out. C3 getting to clean up that Kiriko.
Absolutely. Chasing them into the caves, making sure that not only are they staying off the point, but they're staying off of even looking at the point.
Yeah. Seems the Terps are playing a little more relaxed of a playstyle than normal. You know, they've been able to pick people off, and they're just pushing them back into their spawn and then keeping on that zone. It's clear that they just want to take
Oh,
that
switch to
zone.
Winston for their tank, and a switch to Echo as one of their DPS. A very interesting, almost immediate switch.
We see PJ get hit with that Wu Yang ult, able to get that Reaper, and then Funny cleaning up their Echo. Rowan changing up their lineup a bit. It's an interesting strategy, granted how they were just about to reach ultimates. But, you know, sometimes if a hero's not working, a hero's just really not working, and it's better to get rid of it. Here we see Funny going in on that Dragon Blade.
Very, very nice.
We see the beat come into counter, and it's able to pick Funny off, but C3 gets that Lucio. We have PJ come out with that Death Blossom, not able to get anybody, but Tony cleans it up.
Echo on this map is a very interesting pick, because like I was saying, there's not a ton of verticality. There's a lot of like narrow spaces to hide in, and you can kind of get around the whole map without being viable to any aerial attack. So Echo's kind of blocked off for most of her abilities here.
Yeah, and there we see the Terps just, you know, using a bunch of ultimates because Rowan doesn't have any, and just capping off that round real quick. A very decisive round one to
Exactly. We love to see it from the Terps. Picking what they know, sticking with it, moving in, and cleaning up.
Yeah, here we are moving to the second round. We see Tony on ball. He might be having some fun, or maybe he might actually end up playing ball this round.
And I believe that's Soldier Funny's taking.
Funny's taking Soldier. So it looks like the Terps might be trying some more unusual stuff just to have some fun with it, to get some practice in. It looks like Rowan coming in with that Winston, Cassidy, Echo again. This, at least this point, has a little more verticality for that Echo, and then the classic
very fast moving.
Kiriko
I have to say, a very fast moving from the Terps.
Yeah, Tony already just moving to their back, having some
incredible.
fun playing ball.
Just an immediate flank on Rowan.
Yeah, and Funny getting that quick 2-kill with Soldier.
Incredible. I love to see how Tony is kind of moving around and picking off each person one by one, just getting right up in their face, gunning them down with the hamster ball, and moving.
Yeah, a very decisive first interaction for this round. The Terps, you know, being a little different, getting some practice in some things that they're not normally playing, and ooh, Funny getting picked, maybe getting a little too confident there.
They are firing down on us. Terps are doing a quick retreat and moving around, but they're Winston chasing them down.
Yeah, PJ getting caught by the Lucio and Winston.
Another switch from them. They've also taken a Soldier on their team. They're changing a lot of their picks based on what it seems like the Terps are doing, which is definitely hurting their ability to get ultimates up.
Yeah, you know, I feel like they should just, at this point right now, play to their strengths, try their best. You know, UMD is going to be trying to, like, you know, have some fun with it, get some practice in, and they could use that opportunity. But it looks like,
nice double there.
UMD just going to sweep through, you know.
And moving into their spawn, doing what UMD does best, making sure that they are feeling pressure, make sure that they're staying back, not even getting a chance to run for the...
Ooh. That's going to be rough.
Off
Tony
the map.
Booping Winston off the map, catching him without his jetpack. Oh,
that
has to be tough for the Winston. If you're Glacial,
rough.
You know, you're probably a little sad there.
And pulling out the ult with Hamster Ball now.
Yeah, Tony's gotten up to his ult, and Funny getting picked by that Hanzo there. You know, maybe just getting a little too confident and comfortable. But C3 cleaning up that Winston. I mean,
Terps using great choke point advantage here, noticing where people are trying to come in from and making sure that they are in front or behind them and just locking them in.
Tony just throwing that ult down the second they get anywhere near the zone. We got that visor coming out from Funny. Yeah, we're just seeing, again, very decisive battles.
Absolutely.
That's round 2, and that's game 1.
Already.
Game 1 already. It's only been a few minutes, but that is game 1 for the Terps. A very decisive game. Every single battle decisive. Here we have to play the game from Funny. We're going to take a look at that real quick. before we dive into a little more of an
Oh,
analysis.
very nice.
Yeah, this first
Running
pick at
through
the
pack.
beginning, instantly getting that Sojourn, such a big start to the game.
And then predicting the teleport.
Just reading that Reaper super
Yeah.
well and getting it. First 2 quick picks at the beginning of the game, that really sets the tone and the pace and, changes it a lot. So it is a good big play. But it really, with the Terps today, very decisive, very clear. And by their hero picks, the intention of what they're doing is pretty clear too. They came into this game thinking that they had the skill advantage.
Absolutely.
And it definitely looks like it, and they're just trying to practice and have a little fun playing other heroes.
Absolutely.
Here we have Tango there. Say hi, Tango. Oh, and Tony too. He's over there. That's Tony. And then Funny too.
They're having a little bit of fun.
And then C3 at the
For a
end.
very
Remember,
nice
we
first
met
match.
C3 earlier, our co-captain.
And future Overwatch developer.
Yeah,
as we all
future
know.
Overwatch developer, as we said.
But yeah, it's very interesting to see how they Rowan seemed to build a team for speed at first, and then the Terps honestly countered with even more speed, which I think is phenomenal, and it really just beating them at their own game.
Yeah, I think the Terps are definitely just having a little fun with it,
Yeah.
practicing some things that they don't normally do, because a lot of the times what gets them in these rounds or games that they lose is stuff that isn't like super typical to see,
Right.
stuff that isn't super meta defining,
Right.
stuff that's still viable but isn't considered what's super optimal to run is usually what
Right.
catches them off guard.
The things that you're not quite looking for. It's a little bit fringe. You're like, oh, didn't know that was an option. But
Yeah,
right here,
like-
the Terps are
Like last week, they really struggled against the Winston. You don't typically see Winston a lot.
Right.
And they struggled against Hazard earlier, and Hazard was also, after the balance changes, not somebody you see a whole lot.
Exactly.
So it's, I think they're trying to get some practice in on playing against some a little more atypical kind of lineups. And we have actually coming up next match, Midtown.
Ooh.
Next round 2 is our hybrid round. So we'll see how that goes.
a
It'll
little
probably
bit of push
be
and pull, less stationary movement here. But I still expect to see a lot of very nice angle attention from the Terps, looking for where attacks are going to be coming in from and making sure that they are, again, staying far, far from the point. I think if I were to give the Terps a motto, it would be, don't let them see the point. I'd probably clean it up if I had to give that as the motto, but, they're very, very nice at making sure that not only am I stopping you from taking the objective, not only am I stopping you from moving forward and completing your goal, but I'm trying to break your spirit too.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really good at gaining momentum and keeping that momentum. Once they start to govern that pace of the match, they really just kind of stay in control of it.
Absolutely.
And so, they really, just need to make sure that they don't leave those little opportunities, because a lot of the times when we see those little, opportunities, those little holes open up and the other team starts to gain some momentum back, the Terps really start to struggle on,
Exactly.
then getting back into the swing of things.
Now there has been a switch. It seems like the next map is going to be King's Row. So giving a lot more open space. So maybe we'll see that Echo come back, which was a very interesting pick, I will say. I wouldn't have expected that. It was a very quick, in and out.
Yeah.
So maybe they're practicing with a couple new characters, or maybe they are just trying to respond to what we're doing. But I definitely recommend keeping a solid roster, because I think the ultimates are really going to be what turn the game, and that's honestly, I think, why we were able to dominate so quickly.
Yeah. I think definitely very important. King's Row, a very classic map, very vertical
Absolutely.
map. So yeah, just being able to stick at their strengths. They're at the back step right now, so they really need to play to their strengths and stay committed to something. Ultimates are such a big game, a big game changer. And if you have a team that's already winning very decisively against you, and you do not have ultimates to come in and support you up, and especially if you don't have any and they have any, it becomes almost
Absolutely.
impossible to win back, or at least win back in enough time.
It's such a power imbalance, and power imbalance is going to be what builds the game here. If you can bait someone into using an ultimate and then it doesn't play out the way that you wanted, then you've wasted basically a tide shift in the game.
Yeah. And here we are moving in to King's Row.
Round 2 or match 2 to see what the Terps are going to do. I'm very interested to see what Rowan's going to do. We've got a Hanzo up on the other team, and a Torbjorn as well. Interesting picks from the other team here.
Yeah, we saw some... Okay, now we're moving into Symmetra. Okay, we got Reinhardt on tank and Symmetra as one of the DPSs coming in for Rowan. Now the Terps are also using a little bit of a different lineup. They're matching the Reinhardt with Reinhardt, having some fun with it. We've got PJ playing Symmetra as well.
Interesting.
And then we also have Funny as Bastion.
It's a very like classic lineup here. We've got like the original Overwatch team. This is certainly going to be an interesting match. I'm very excited to see what the Terps are going to do, and I'm interested to see how Rowan's going to respond. Are they exactly matching us right now, apart from the Hanzo?
Yeah, it's a Hanzo for Bastion trade right here. And here
Yeah,
we see
apart from that, they're exactly matching us, which is...
a very electric start. The Terps taking out 3 of Rowan. Rowan only managing to get, I believe, just Tango. But he is Lucio, so he can be able to make his way back into the action pretty fast.
Absolutely. Now, this map is a little bit harder to get these flanks on. Plus, Terps are playing a little bit less mobile characters, especially with Reinhardt here. So kind of building their match around
now, I gotta say,
that.
I think Tony is really enjoying playing Reinhardt right now. We just saw his webcam. I have not seen that much expression on Tony's face during a match in a while. I think he's definitely having fun with the opportunity to play a little differently, have a little more fun with it, you know.
Even from one of our, I would say, most diverse picking players. I've seen him play a number of our different tanks. This is definitely a new one for him. I'm very interested.
Yeah, he's definitely pretty dynamic on the tanks. I mean, Diva, Zarya, Ramattra, but not typically that Reinhardt there. So I think he's having some fun with it.
It's a good opportunity to mess around with some fun picks.
And then we see a lot of the alts coming out from UMD, clearing out all of Rowan. And still, what is really great about the Terps is they use all those ultimates, and they are still matching Rowan in ult count. You know, they're very good on that management.
Getting those ults out to use them, and then you're already building up the next one. Because, you know, hoarding your ultimate for forever and ever, that's not going to help you take the match anywhere.
No, exactly. You cannot build up to a second ultimate while having one.
Exactly. So it's amazing to see how the Terps are just moving forwards and using all the resources at their disposal to honestly just keep them far away from moving that payload.
Yeah, the current way it's playing out, you know, the Terps are just kind of keeping them at the spawn, having a little fun with it. Funny getting that pick there on
now
getting that pig on
almost
bat.
have 5 ultimates on Rowan right now. They're at 99 and 95. 95 exclusively is the last one that does not have an ultimate. I'm curious to see what these ultimates are going to do, because we've been waiting on Glacial to use his for a little bit now, and I think we've even seen 1 or 2 ultimates fully built up.
Giving them a bit of an opportunity here to see what they do. And then we have Mirrored Beats coming down, and then the Symmetra ult also coming out as well, and that's able to get Tony down there. And then Tango's falling too, so you know, this, I think the Terps really gave them an opportunity with this.
Yeah,
got Funny trying his best to stay alive and DPS down. But Tango is going to be able to get back in it really fast, pick off that Bastion, but unfortunately not able to stay alive. And it looks like they are going to cap the point off of that. You know, I think the Terps were trying to have a little fun with it, trying to be a little, you know, trying to give them a chance, but I think maybe it was a little too much. Really, 5 ults versus none is a little too tough of a barrier.
It's like we were saying, the ults is what's changing the game. That's a tide turner right there, and that means 5 tide turners against 0. I mean, we were bound to see something happen.
Yeah, we really were. And they're able to get a decent amount of progress so far.
Really pushing back the Terps right now. But a classic little flank here, looking at the choke points and trying to push them off. But a very dominant showing from Rowan right now. Seemed to give the Terps a little bit of trouble, but I think, like we're saying, this ult is going to force them to retreat. Otherwise, they're going to be pummeled by the Bastion ult.
I think the Terps are locking back in, pushing them back more.
Absolutely.
And are now ready to defend the payload for 2 more minutes. You know, that's all they got to do is keep it before the checkpoint for 2 minutes.
Right.
I think it's definitely possible.
I think it's extremely possible. The Terps have been very, very good at keeping the other teams backwards right now. And I don't expect to see anything
and
different.
They've gotten that ult balance kind of back closer into, you know, being equal with the other team.
A very chaotic matchup right now. Abilities coming in from every side, knocking around.
Yeah, some
and
really
the Reinhardt
nice
coming in to
hammer
break
strikes
everyone
from
up.
Tony. And C3
Pushing them right
cleaning
back
up
to their spawn.
so many. C3, I believe, I think that was 3 of the 5 there were C3.
Wow.
Yeah, just they're moving back in. They're focusing back
Absolutely.
up. They're not playing around as much. And here we have Tony behind the back line, looking to hopefully get a nice easy pick or 2. PJ is going to fall to that Bastion.
They've also switched to a Bastion. They are literally just doing the exact same lineup as this right now. This is such an interesting game that we're seeing. It's unprecedented for me.
Yeah, Rowan responding with a team kill on the Terps. You know, it's really just what I feel is happening a lot is the Terps are going in and using a lot of resources, wiping them out, and then the thing is Rowan comes back in with all these resources that the Terps use. You know, all their ults back in and are able to come back in with a good fight. You know, they're really close to this point here.
I think the Terps are very good at consistency here. It's amazing to see how they're using their ults as they get them. They're using their abilities as they get them to continuously push back. But then every now and then, yeah, you're getting Rowan coming in where they've finally built up their ultimates. They've just died and they've got all their abilities back, and they come in for a big push a little bit at a time. But I think the unstoppable force of the Terps here is going to outweigh the incremental pushes that Rowan is doing.
And the Terps able to push them back and keep them on, managing time very well, stopping them just at that like 4 meters, and able to run out the time very well. A good management of their time there. You know, letting them gain a lot of distance, but making sure to stop them before they get to something that's a lot more, consequential.
Yeah.
And so the Terps are going to be moving into offense. You know, they're going to be able to cap the point, and all they have to do is really make it to almost exactly that second checkpoint. Because they stopped Rowan right before, that checkpoint. So
now, a new team comp for the push. We are switching out our Lucio for a Mercy, and a completely new lineup from Rowan right here. We've got a Mei, an Echo, and they're keeping the Lucio. Interesting. I'll be interested to see if this is what remains as the team comp for Rowan, or if we will soon see a Bastion and a Mercy.
Yeah, they're changing it up, but we'll see how they change. If they want to stick with those changes, or if they want to, go back to mirroring UMD. We'll see, but it's an interesting, choice here with UMD moving into that Mercy instead of something like Lucio. Lucio's a very impactful, hero to play, and almost every team comp has a Lucio on it. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they, deal with it. But I think they're really trying to get that combination of like the damage boost with someone like Bastion.
Absolutely. Switching out speeds for buffs here. Combining Mercy's buff with Bastion's just like wall of bullets here, I think is going to be a very strong push.
And I think the revive too is also very valuable. We see that coming in, bringing Funny back up. And
within a couple seconds, already on the point and capturing.
And it allows them to get right back on the point. With a pick like that could maybe change the whole momentum of the fight. Instead, stop it right there, bring him back up, and it goes back to what it was. And they're able to just keep going, keep pushing, and that's going to be pretty much the first point there. We'll see if they try to get a little touch beforehand, but it looks like they're just going to go
And they've taken the payload.
straight to pushing.
A crazy huge time difference here. The Terps are on a beautiful pace to win this match.
Yeah, the Terps got 5 minutes to make it to basically the first checkpoint, so there's a good chance that they're able to do that here. And all they got to do is just hold them off. You know, it's a lot more advantageous a lot of the times to be the person pushing the payload because, you know, you control where the point is, and, you know, they got to follow you.
Yeah.
You don't have to follow them.
Exactly. I think we're just seeing the consistency of the Terps in action again, and I think there's literally no better way to demonstrate that than with a payload. You get to watch in real time how consistent the Terps are about moving that objective forwards, and even if we do get those big pushes from Rowan that knock a couple of us back, that progress is still evident about how much we've made and consistently moving it forwards.
And we saw Rowan throw some ults in there and try to push really forward, but Funny is really stopping them, along with C3, able to really punish them for moving way too far forward.
There.
I think that was 3 for Funny and then 2 for C3 there, so very well played. Just really taking advantage of, you know, them moving way too far and way too into it. And now, you know, Rowan's
replay.
Lost some ults, but the Terps still have almost all of them at this point.
Yeah.
Pretty much all
We are
of them.
4 on 5 ults right now. Wow. So I think we're about to see a very, very big battle coming up where I'd be willing to see all these popped at once.
Yeah, and the Terps holding them at that point, at that checkpoint, you know, just letting one of the back
2
line
out,
push
3
the
out.
card there. Really just trying to be very decisive here,
4
make a statement.
used. 5 used, I think.
Yeah, there goes.
Oh my gosh.
Most of the ults for the Terps. They're just trying to get it going.
We're 1
but
on
then
1
we see
right
that
now.
Echo come out and mirror the Ryan.
Jeez. There is a ridiculous amount of things happening right now.
Yeah, we see Tango, of all people, being able to get the Echo. The Mercy cleaning that up. Very interesting. Tony getting revived.
It is incomprehensible what is happening on the screen right now.
This is definitely one of the more unique ways it's played out. PJ not letting the May get the credit there. But yeah, it's definitely a very chaotic game, a very fast game right here.
And yeah, all those ults except our Bastion went out right there in one ultimate. There are so many particles on screen right now.
Yeah. And that May able to get back up to her ultimate. You know, the Terps still have quite a lot of time to make it there. They still have 2.5 minutes, are most of the way there. We see that May ult come out. Tony almost able to get out of it.
Absolutely.
C3 there to help support him. Looks like Funny is going to take down that Ryan.
Very
but PJ
nice
gets
cleanup.
caught.
Using the Reinhardt to just kind of clear everyone out of the area.
Tango working on his Battle Mercy, it seems. You know, getting another kill there.
You could switch to literally any perspective in this entire game right now, and it would be the most interesting game I've seen.
Yeah,
this is insane.
That combo of Funny and C3 doing a lot of work again. You know, we saw it earlier. They're just able to really shred down and keep each other up. Very well played there.
I pray that everyone participating is using high quality computers. Otherwise, this is a bomb inside there.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on in the game, challenging any older generation machines.
Yeah.
Here we have C3 with the play of the game.
Very nice.
Picking out one.
Using that verticality, coming down on them from above, hitting them where they least expect it.
Getting a second and a third there.
Wow.
Clean play by C3. You know, a very, very interesting match there.
There were
very
so
crazy.
many things happening.
Definitely just focused on having some fun, being a little different.
I think we may have seen light in every single color of the rainbow from the ults.
It was tough to keep track of. That's definitely for sure. But the Terps taking it out. You know, they still had like 2 minutes left on the clock there. So that's going to be 2-0 for the Terps moving into Game 3. Game 3 is going to be our flashpoint.
So I expect to see a lot of fast-paced movement from the Terps now. Very similar to round 1. I expect to see a lot of flanks. I'm curious if Rowan's going to bring their Junker Queen back out, because they started with that, and then almost immediately she was gone. I think there was one kill, and the Junker Queen was out.
Yeah, and Junker Queen can do pretty well on Flashpoint, especially in New Junk City, which is my guess. We don't know for sure yet, but that's my guess on what the map is going to be like. It often ends up being New Junk City for Flashpoint. It's not like there's a lot of options. It's a very new game mode. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we can see some of that Junker Queen. I would hope to see some, like we've seen in every match so far, something a little different. Because
I'm seeing a lot of heroes I have not seen in Overwatch comp play for a minute. Yeah. So this is an interesting game. I'm loving this.
Yeah, I think Flashpoint especially is a good opportunity to really showcase some really different kind of play, because it already kind of forces you to be a little different than normal. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how they play into that. And yeah, I mean, it's been great to see some more dynamic and interesting and uncommon heroes.
Honestly, the game gets boring if everyone's running the same, like Tracer, Genji, whatever, every single time. It's amazing to see when teams can just switch it up and have a little bit of fun with who they're picking and fill the screen with so many colors.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it on the faces when we cut to their cameras, or I mean, I can hear it out there. Yeah. They're happy. They're having a fun time.
That's what this is about. Yeah. I mean, if everyone's having a good time, like, honestly, job fulfilled.
Yeah, it's definitely, one of our more exciting and fun streams, and I'm definitely glad for that,
Very.
It could have been one of those just like real fast stomps, but there isn't as much, fun in it. So changing things up for both teams, doing these different stuff allows us to see some cool things, allows us to just see some more ridiculous things. Yeah. It just opens the door for a lot more fun.
Exactly. I love to see a little bit of like struggle in the matches. I love to see a little bit of switching it up, and something very unique to esports, I think, where you can take a chance to experiment within the game and kind of show the audience something a little bit different, and give yourself a little bit more of a challenge in a way that you may not be able to in other games. I mean, in football, you can play like one-handed. It's not gonna happen.
And here we move into Game 3, currently 2-0 with the Terps. We have a honestly pretty interesting looking team play right now. C3 on Kiriko, Tango on Lucio. Nothing too crazy about that.
Matched Roadhogs again. These tanks are matched up the entire game.
Yeah, and they're both matching up on really, interesting choices. We've got Roadhog coming out. That's gonna be interesting. We've got PJ on Freya.
Oh, and a switch to the hamster. Are we going to see a
ball
match
last minute?
Here is the question: are they going to switch last minute?
We've got PJ on Freya, which is interesting because our team's hit scan player Ugg, who is out right now because he might have a bit of a concussion.
Right.
He's normally the one that plays hit scan, plays Freya, so it's interesting to see PJ in that role. Funny being a little more typical on Tracer. Tony getting taken down first thing as that ball, maybe getting a little too confident.
Nice verticality, nice movement, and a classic here with Tracer coming in and clearing around on these sides. Very nice. Very nice.
And PJ getting caught as well.
Absolutely. Rowan moving straight on the ult. This is a very promising opening from them. This is the strongest, most dominant opening I've seen from them this game. But the Terps are doing an amazing job at clearing them up and making sure that they have a very clean control of the point here.
Yeah, the Terps have been very good so far on just coming back, reassembling. I mean, they're playing a lot of really fast heroes right now. Mm-hmm. And, with Flashpoint, you don't have as much time to kind of, like, mess around in between fights or to reorganize and recuperate. So you really got to make sure you're being very quick on that and getting back together fast. And the Terps have been doing that very well. But, unfortunately, Tony and Tango going down on that fight. It's a pretty far away from the point, but still, that's the two players that you don't want to lose, you lose.
We've seen two more switches from Rowan. I think they have a Sombra and a Hanzo now. switching up their strategies a little bit, giving a little bit more long range on the Hanzo and a little bit more close range on the Sombra. Interesting to see, but the Terps clearing the area out. So doesn't seem to be effective enough to do anything.
Again, the Terps coming back after faltering a little bit in the beginning. Seems to have be their strength right now. PJ getting a nice little pick on that Hanzo. You know, they're getting the zone back. It's at 70% now, so it's not too long. We see that Kitsune rush coming in. You know, they're
Two
really holding
Roadhogs
them back here.
fighting at each other right now, duking it out. Chain and gone. A Hanzo ult, but very nicely dodged. I don't think it got anyone. So, again, the Terps just being able to deflect someone else's ult. Again, you've one-upped them on a later moment in the game when you have an ult and they will not.
Yeah, and really just holding them like absolutely to their spawn. You know, they had a fight that was pretty far away from the point. That took up, the whole point of the whole time of that last point there. You know, we've got 1-0 on the Terps. It only takes 3 to win this game mode.
Showing them an immediate battle that needs to be fought rather than letting them run off and get to the point. Keeping the enemy distracted is just like a really, really good tactic the Terps have been using. Almost full ults from Rowan right now. Compared with 2 on the Terps, so we might be about to see a very strong push from Rowan. I would not be shocked if we were about to see a large push with a lot of the Terps being pushed backwards.
PJ throwing his ult out, and then the Beat coming in response to save them. And he's going to fall. You know, the Terps already got 30% on this point right here, so Rowan is really going to need to, push them back. But the Terps really good right now tonight of just coming back, They lose the momentum a bit, but they've been really good at gaining it back, which is good because that's been one of their weaker points in some of these other matches.
Consistency, consistency. That is the theme of the Terps tonight. They are continuously moving forwards, and even though there are these huge pushes that we're seeing from Rowan, definitely setting them back and definitely knocking out a lot of their team members. The Terps know how to respond to that. They know that they can retreat, they know that they can regroup, and then they know they can move at the same consistency, not overexerting themselves so that they lose all their abilities in one big push, but using them over time, letting their skills kind of carry them, and letting the abilities complement the abilities that they have. I think that's just been amazing to see. It's a really incredible game, and that's why we've seen so much diversity in our hero selection, because the Terps know that their skills and their aim is going to be what carries them through, and those abilities are just going to complement them.
Yeah, definitely just really good use of resources, and it allows them to, have a little fun and play in these characters that they're not normally playing,
Honestly,
this might be the first time that we've seen a lot of them on any of these characters this season.
Right.
And, just
unlikely we'll see them again, yeah.
Yeah. They're taking that opportunity and then using their resources really well to afford them to be able to do this.
Absolutely. A very unique game right here, and amazing to watch.
Terps getting the first cap on point 3. They've got 2 already, and since they won the first 2 games,
just got to grab one more.
This could be the last point of the game.
Wow.
Yeah. It's definitely been not one of our longer matches.
Right, but honestly, after last week, the Terps need a fun pick-me-up. I think there's no better match. This came at the perfect time. A
good restart and a good opportunity to try. Ooh. Okay.
The chain off the
Real
map.
quick, let's stop what I'm saying and let's analyze that for a second. Okay.
Wow.
Tony, he got yanked off the map, unfortunately, but he was lucky.
From the side.
He got that Kiriko, got yanked off, but don't worry. He got him too. He got him too.
I think it was the pull there. He interacted with the hitbox weird.
Yeah.
Very interesting little play there. That was funny.
If you pull and then, flick really hard, you can get a little bit of that rotational momentum enough to throw him off the map. And
there you go.
he at least got
and
that
coming back
trade
with the
and then
ultimate.
got the
Tony's showing
well,
them that he is not
getting
to be
that
messed with.
double, keeping them off the point for that overtime, and that will be it. That will be the game. Ended out by a nice ult by Tony there. And that is our game for tonight. Very swift game, very decisive game, but definitely a very fun one with a lot of cool and unique heroes. Here we have Tony.
I think we might be about to watch the same
play
clip.
The game. Yeah, I think you're right. It might be the end there.
Yeah,
here it is. Tony's ult to
clip.
end out the game. Kitsune and the beat coming out, and then Tony using that hog ult to just take everybody out. You know, make up for getting hit off the map there.
Incredible game.
Yeah. A good game by the Terps there. You know, a good showing by Rowan as well. You know, just a fun game where everyone was able to, be a little unique, play some unconventional stuff, and have some fun with it. And it was a great opportunity for the Terps because last week was a little sad, losing after such a long, hard-fought game. Here we have them pan the shots. We got Tango, we got Tony, we got Funny, and we got C3, of course.
It's good to see smiles on our players' faces. Yeah. I think a fun match like this really reminds you why you picked up the game. It turns it from less into the sport, but you remember that it really is just a fun game that you enjoy playing. And so I'm very happy that we got to witness a weird match like this.
Yeah. The whole point is that you're supposed to be enjoying this, and sports. Even at their highest levels, are still supposed to be,
a game.
A game, something that people can watch and enjoy. And I think that's definitely what we had here tonight. A very different and fun match where, everyone was just allowed to have a little fun with it,
experiment,
practice some things,
throw some stuff out. And we saw a lot of that. An incredible game. One for the books, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely a fun one, a unique one. Definitely, not the kind of match that we'll have too often this year. So it was nice to at least have one of them where we could be a little odd, a little weird.
And you know who we didn't see in the match? Venture. Ever since the ban, removed from the game, they are
C3's
out.
words. C3's words are law when it comes to Overwatch. No venture means no venture.
We'll have to ask him who's getting removed next week.
Yeah, because that was only his day one.
Yeah.
I asked him. I said, "What are you gonna do on day one?" So day two, who knows? By I guess by Halloween we'll probably have 3 people on the roster at that point. But
I'm excited to see full tracer on tracer gameplay, just 5-on-5.
Yeah, maybe that's his vision, Tracer Simulator. But we thank you guys for being here, coming out and watching this match. And we'd also like to thank our sponsors, of course. We have Philip Merrill College of Journalism, Recwell, UMD Recwell in specifics, Playwire, of course, our great, amazing sponsors. We thank them. We thank you guys for coming out here.
Thank you so
much. It was a good, fun, unique match to watch, and we will catch you next week.
This game is over.